Hi. All right. Refine your seat. I know you know how. Arrive in a very committed, confident state of being, which is something that we can choose to do over and over again. We can say yes to that. And confidence is really a state of being. It's a state of like mindset. It's whether you believe you can or you can't, you're right. That kind of confidence is where I'd like to take the practice today. If you've made it this far in the transformation series, if you're keeping up with the progression, then you're likely seeing some shifts and some changes for you. I am. I know I actually feel it and I see it. And I also go into, when I expand into elevated confidence and consciousness, then I also have to deal with the rubber band effect of like shrinking back down into smallness and then getting to pulsate in and out of that knowing. The Tantrika yogi calls that spanda. And it is this understanding that whenever we grow, we will contract. And when we contract, we feel our desire to grow again. And this is a very powerful place to be. So the contraction can be seen as a place like to really honor and identify what are you saying yes to yet again. And the power of the English word yes. Try that, yes. And then if you stick with the S and let the S, you're going to find your transverse abdominis. Yes. Big inhale. Yes. It's probably, it's quite likely that you could do the yes without engaging your transverse abdominis. But let's play the game. Drop in and find when you're empowered from your core. This is a place that a lot of us have some funny associations with. We have judgments around. We get into that contracted self where we're like, oh, I don't look or feel, or it doesn't behave the way I want it to. In all sorts of ways, from our external appearance to our internal digestion. And you know what? In an all things perfect world, you are who you are, and your body is your body. Can we say yes to the you that you are? And drop into that for a moment and see if you can expand and contract with the yes of it, and just feel yourself from inside to outside, outside to inside. Yes. Something powerful is going to happen if you keep pressing through that S of the yes. And you're going to elongate your exhalation, which is going to empower your rest, relaxation, digestion, nervous system. So say yes to that. Feet forward, lay on your back. Take a breath. You want to be sure that you're relaxed enough in your empowered body, your Vajra body, your thunderbolt body. That's where the practices, the alchemical practices of yoga really take us. They help us transform our being through the gift of embodiment. So you want to make sure your body is relaxed all the way to the base of the ribs. Let the base of your ribs make contact with your mat. And you may need your breath to do that. Now, as you exhale and strengthen your core, notice if you're bearing down on yourself and try to just hold just enough strength that when you lift your feet, your abdominals pull back instead of bulging up away from your spine. So use back body strength to lift your feet and your knees. Flex your ankles. Hands behind your head. Learn to move the breath into the back body wide through the ribs with inhale. And how to strengthen your core with your exhale. Make sure your knees are right over your hips so they're not too close to your belly so that there's some curve in your lumbar spine, even though the base of the ribs have rooted. Now, test it out and see when you extend the right leg straight up to the sky, can you keep from bearing down, but keep the breath moving back and wide? And then notice how far you can lower the lifted right leg before you over effort in the core. And for some of us, it's not that far. And that's fine. And then bend back to center. Find that empowered breath, lift the left leg straight up, and then figure it out. When you use your core strength to lower your leg, where do you reach your end? Where do you grasp and bear down and try too hard? Because fire out of check will burn out, and it's not our friend. Yeah. So lower that lifted right leg now, only as far as you can keep from bearing down. And then with your exhale, you're gonna roll the right shoulder over and do your little bicycle. So opposite elbow to front knee with your exhales. The inhales help you go wide. And you can now speed it up at a pace that you can sustain. And if you would have asked me, the yogi who was showing up for practices 20 years ago with my teachers, and they were making me do core stuff like this, I was like, I thought I was at a yoga class. what happened? I thought I was at a yoga class. And relax, arms to cactus, keep the knees bent and lifted. Knees to the right. Press the right knee up into the left knee so that you strengthen the core to come out from core power. And exhale, keep now the left knee pressing up into the right knee as you lower to the left. So bottom leg holds the top leg. Pretend the top leg's a bowling ball and you really have to hold it. Press the bottom knee up to come out of the twist. Now, right knee up to lower into the twist. Right knee keeps pressing to come out of the twist. And side to side, hold the midline. And where we're going is into an arm balance. And arm balances are about finding the balance. How far can you let the fire of the heart lead the pathway forward? Trust the bones in your shoulder girdle. And let's take the feet to the earth. Place a block between your upper inner thighs. And we'll take a bridge pose that's just enough of a bridge pose to dispel some of the heat and the fire in the belly. Use your breath to fan and temper. Squeezing the block, the midline is known and felt and remembered. Hips to the earth, inhale. Now your choice. You might be tired by now and you're like, there's an arm balance sequence coming up. So if you need to, you'll roll to the right to come up to all fours. If you'd like, you can rock and roll and let your core strength help you. Good. So let's take a little precursor to where we're going. So lean back to your forearms, pull the top of your throat back. I got my hands pretty far wide so that my elbows are more narrow than my wrists, and that is helping my shoulders. So now pull the top of the throat back, lower ears back, and strengthen your core, but lift the chest. Can you find that place where you can hold your core strength in such like sweet sincerity that your neck may not love this, but it doesn't hurt? It's like, whoa, I'm asking my front of my neck muscles to engage. That means the hyoid bone pulls from the base of the chin to the back of the skull. And then grab your mat with your hands, the edges of your mat, push down and lift yourself up. Cat tilt. Cow tilt. Cat tilt. Cow tilt. All right. One of my favorite ways to teach Bakasana is on your butt. So big toes together, heels together, spread your toes, elbows into inner knees, hands like you were standing on them on the floor. Just close your eyes and say a little prayer. With your exhales, soften the grip of your shoulders, but strengthen the tone of your core. Start to squeeze your knees into your elbows. Now, keep squeezing the knees, press the elbows down and then wide and pull the heart up. And notice that you're still holding that midline with your legs and the elbows are pressing back, and that brings power into the heart, and the heart can rise through the fire from the belly. Yeah, and release. Cross your legs, have a little twist to the right. I know I mixed up my lefts and rights today, I'm sorry. Inhale, center, and twist it the other way. All right. You're gonna take one block and keep it on the right side of your mat on its lowest setting. Come up to all fours. Extend your right leg back and stretch the left arm forward. And just find spinal balancing pose as an interesting way to lengthen and strengthen. And now really focus on that grounded right hand, index finger and thumb pad, index finger pad, middle finger pad, ring finger pad, baby finger pad, knuckles. Yeah, and then switch. Make that left hand print as interesting as the right one. And start to press down between active, so divide the labor. It's going to go down from the hips to your right leg, long through the spine and down through that left arm and hand. And then from those places of committed, dedicated confidence, you'll like freely expand from the hips through the back foot and out through the lifted front arm. And lower that down and take a little child's pose and circle out your wrists. And now we'll come up to a squat with your right foot on the block. Pick up your hips, place your hands in front of that, so it's in front of the block, and now find your spacing, your body spacing, so that when you bend your knees, that right knee is outside the upper right arm. Hands in that same position where they're not too wide and not too narrow, they're just right for you. Squeeze the knee, your right knee in to your right arm, and then your left knee into the left arm. Squeeze in, press the heart forward. Press the left knee into your arm and squeeze it into the midline so much, let the heart move forward so much that your right foot can get light and squeeze towards your glute. Strengthen your exhalation into your core. Push down through both hands like a cat tilt. And maybe that right foot comes in to meet the left in Bakasana. And set it down. Circle out your hands. It's a strong Bakasana, isn't it? So you don't have to lift the feet at all. Change the block to side two. Squeeze to the midline. Plant your hands. Lift your hips just enough. Then when you squeeze in, and now we're going to pull the elbows, want to go wide. That's fine. Squeeze your shoulder blades. Squeeze the wrist towards the midline, and then draw your elbows in and press the heart way forward. Press that left knee into your upper left arm so much that the right foot can get light and lift up towards your glute. Heart forward, heart forward. Maybe squeezing into the midline with both knees allows left foot to get light. And bring it down. Whew. That was fun. Open the legs, have a seat. Namaste. Thank you. Love you.